I have to be the ones to run the coaching calls, but then I have to be the one to post on social media, but then I have to be the one to take the discovery calls. I want to be out doing the actual creative work, but I'm being held back. Anything that is on that hate doing list, those are the things that you need to start delegating to specialists as soon as possible. And that literally becomes the list that tells you who you need to hire next. Hey, Courtney Sanders here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, I'm a full-time online life and business coach as well as wife and mom. I wear all the hats and do all the things, but I do it because I'm passionate about helping you turn your success story into a 6 or even 7-figure coaching brand. And in order to get to that level, especially when you're transitioning from 6 figures to 7 figures, you are going to need to hire some people. And so this is a question that I've been getting a lot. I've been sharing the behind the scenes of me working with my team on my Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you do that. It's CourtneyLSanders. But a lot of people are like, how do I even know where to hire, who to hire? How do I even get started? So if you're in a position where you're like, okay, I'm kind of rocking and rolling in my business, we're getting some clients, but I'm starting to feel overwhelmed by all the things I have to do. I have to be the ones to run the coaching calls, but then I have to be the one to post on social media, but then I have to be the one to take the discovery calls, and then I have to do the bookkeeping and all the back end stuff in my business. You're probably wearing too many hats, right? I know I'm the one that wears all the hats and does all the things, but maybe I should change my intro now, because at least in my business, I'm no longer wearing all the hats and doing all the things. I got people for that, which is really awesome, and I want you to have people too. So if you're like, okay, Courtney, I'm ready to start getting these people in place, where do I find them? You're in luck, because in this video, we're gonna talk about how to do that now. Okay, how to hire help for your online business, specifically how to build a team for beginners. I can just walk you through my process. I'm not necessarily saying my process is the best process in the world, but this is the process that I have followed to allow me to build a team that is actually doing really well. I don't know my total numbers, but I know at any given time, there could be as much as 14 or 15 different people working on different aspects of my business and brand. So it's kind of crazy to wake up and be like, wow, I have all these people working for me in some capacity, but I didn't get there overnight. They definitely were added in as needed, and over time my business grew to this. So I'll talk about the first hire that I definitely recommend that you make, and that is a virtual assistant. I find that this is the case regardless of what your niche is, really regardless of what your business is. If you're an online business, you need a virtual assistant ASAP. And so what a virtual assistant is really they're kind of like a all hands on deck person. They're someone who can handle a lot of the administrative work in your business. They can handle responding to emails, organizing files, maybe in your Google Drive or in your Dropbox. If you find contacts on LinkedIn that you need to reach out to, they can do some prospecting for you. So any administratively heavy work that is just really bogging you down, you need to process payments, send out emails, send out invoices. A lot of this kind of, it almost feels nitpicky, like to the creator, to the founder of the business, where you're like, I want to be out doing the actual creative work, but I'm being held back because I gotta do all this administrative stuff in my business. If you're in that place, then that's a good sign that you need to be bringing on a virtual assistant. And I actually brought on my first virtual assistant before I even quit my job, if you can believe it. So back in 2015, where I was building my business on the side while I was working my 9-to-5 job, it was very difficult for me to queue up my social media and get everything scheduled because I was at work during work hours, right? And so I ended up bringing on a virtual assistant who was able to answer a lot of those emails for me, who was able to schedule my social media and handle a lot of things while I was working at work, so that a lot of this stuff was taken care of. And so I hired that person really before I hired myself in my business and before I was able to pay myself, but that's how important having this person is. So if you are at the very beginning, even if you're not getting clients consistently, trust me, you can afford to hire a virtual assistant. Make sure that you get them in your business ASAP. All right, the next person that you're gonna wanna hire in your business is a graphic designer. So this was actually my second hire after I hired my virtual assistant. And again, I hired this person while I was still working my full-time job. So while I had the virtual assistant who was helping me with social media, who was helping me with answering emails and doing all these things, I found that even though that was being taken care of while I was working my 9-to-5, I was coming home and I was spending so much time trying to design graphics either for new social media that was gonna be going out the next next day, or freebies like free ebooks and free PDFs. I was designing all of that stuff myself, if you can believe it. Or packages that went with my programs, right? So one of my first hit life coaching programs was a 21-day self-discipline challenge. And so for that 21-day self-discipline challenge, there was a workbook that went with each of the 21 days. Yours truly designed that herself, right? I still have it to this day, but I stayed up all night getting the graphics and everything together. So even if you have some design skills, I'm certainly not a graphic designer, but I was good enough to kind of make do. At this point, it's really about time. And so there's things that you could be doing, but should you really be doing them? And so I find for most people, unless you're actually a graphic designer for your profession, you probably shouldn't be designing your own stuff, and an actual graphic designer can design it way better for you. So there's a lot of really, really affordable graphic designers that you can work with all over the world. Regardless of how you choose to find a graphic designer, I would recommend getting them in your business ASAP. So my first hire was a virtual assistant, and then shortly after that, I hired a graphic designer, and those two people were working in my business even before I went full time. So that shows you how important it is. Again, even if you're not having consistent clients yet, or you're still getting your income up, you need that virtual assistant and that graphic designer because they're gonna help you grow your business. All right, after you've gotten your virtual assistant and your graphic designer in your business, now is the time that you're gonna start hiring specialists. And this is gonna be highly dependent on what kind of business you have and also what you hate doing, right? So hiring specialists is not something that you do at once. It's something that you do over time as needed. But I do have a particular process that I recommend that you follow when it comes to hiring specialists. All right, the first thing that I recommend you do when it comes to hiring specialists is that you track all the tasks you're doing in your business. Most of us are super overwhelmed because we don't even know what we're doing on a day-to-day. We just know that we need to do all the things and that we need to put all the fires out. And so there's a free software that I recommend. It's called Clockify. You can get it on your phone, you can install it on your computer, or it's a web browser application as well. And you just wanna open it up, and every time you do a task, start typing in it what you're doing. And you'll find that at the end of the day, you will have a record of all of the things that you worked on. And at the end of the week, you'll have this nice, tab of all of the different types of tasks that you have been working on in your business. And so you'll want to have that because that's going to help you move on to the next part of hiring specialists. Is you want to take everything that you have been doing in your business. And again, you only need to track for maybe like a week or two to get an accurate sense, but you want to take all of these tasks and you want to label them and organize them based on how much you like them, right? So you want to have 3 categories: things you love doing, things you don't mind doing, and things you hate doing. So of all the tasks that you've been doing in your business, organize them in terms of things you love doing, things you don't mind doing, and things you hate doing. Anything that is on that hate doing list, those are the things that you need to start delegating to specialists as soon as possible. So I would even prioritize everything that's on that I hate doing list. You can prioritize it by how much you hate it. You can also prioritize it by how impactful it is to your business. But some way you need to prioritize it, and that literally becomes the list that tells you who you need to hire next. Hire someone who can handle each of those things on your list. And if you can't hire someone who can do all of the things, hire someone, again, who can do the thing you hate the most, or the thing that's gonna make the biggest impact in your business. And as your business starts to grow, continue to pull things off that list and delegate it to somebody who really loves doing it. All right, I have more tips where that came from, but first I wanna hear from you. Are you currently looking to hire in your business? Who are you trying to hire? Share in the comments below. All right, the 4th hire I recommend that you make after you've gotten your virtual assistant, you've gotten your graphic designer, and you're in a process of hiring specialists to take over all of the things that you hate, is by this point, you really wanna have an operations manager. So an operations manager is different than a virtual assistant in that they are going to help manage all of the people that you are now bringing on your team. So a virtual assistant is a person who handles a particular responsibility in your business, someone who handles all the administrative work. But your operations manager is someone who manages all of the staff and the specialists. So this operations manager is going to help manage your virtual assistant, manage your graphic designer, and manage all of those specialists that you will be hiring to take things off of your I hate to do list. And so I find that after you hire about a good 4 or 5 people, it starts to get hairy where as the founder and as the CEO, people are pinging you all the time, they're messaging you on Slack, they have questions, they need things done. And it's almost like, oh my goodness, why did I hire all these people? Because they're keeping me from doing my work because they're asking so many questions. And so when you get to that place, that's when having an operations manager is really great, because they can be the buffer between you and the rest of the team and really kind of put out those fires and make sure that your staff gets what they need, and they can really help operationalize the back end of your business, give you monthly reports about what's going on. And it's a lot easier for you because you really only need to have a meeting frequently with really just one person, and then you can have like an all team meeting, you know, once a month or once a quarter or whatever works for you. Fifth person I recommend hiring after you've gotten your virtual assistant, your graphic designer, you're hiring whatever specialist you need to take care of the things that you hate, and then you have an operations manager to manage all of these people. Next, if you don't have this person already, I recommend that you either hire some sort of sales coordinator or some sort of social media marketing person. So really this is going to be dependent on how you attract people into your business and how you ultimately sell clients into your programs. But if you do a lot of phone sales, you are probably handling all the discovery calls yourself, handling all of the sales. So you'll want to have someone who can start to step in and take those calls for you. If your business doesn't really do discovery calls, or you don't close people over the phone, but maybe you have a lot of launches and promotions that happen on social media, then you'll want to find someone who's going to take over that for you and is going to manage a lot of your social media launches and making sure that your content goes out. In fact, you can hire both of these people, but you want to do it in order of priority and what makes the most sense for your business. But you need somebody who's going to be the person who essentially takes all the inbound leads and kind of takes over the sales aspect, so that you can focus again on being the CEO, on creating the content, on creating the products, and ultimately providing the services for your clients however you work with them. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. If it was helpful to you, that lets me know that you're in a place in your business where you are trying to scale. Maybe you are at 6 or multi-6 figures and you are trying to scale to the 7-figure level. And so if that's the case, I would love to work with you. We recently just opened up new spots in a brand new coaching program that I have, where you get to coach privately with me as I help you build your business and scale to the 7-figure level. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, click the link below to schedule a call with my enrollment team, and we'll see if it's a good fit for you. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. If you loved it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you can't wait until my next video, don't forget to subscribe to my podcast, The Courtney Sanders Show, on both iTunes and Spotify. And if you can't wait for my next podcast episode or my next YouTube video, make sure that you are following me on Instagram. Again, that is CourtneyLSanders on Instagram. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.